We have a great opportunity to support our student learning with Classworks. Just as you wouldn't give your student a quick quiz on idioms after you only talked about them for a minute or two, you want to provide your students with the best experience in Classworks by having them use a notebook. In the classroom, you might scaffold their knowledge by looking at idioms in books like Amelia Bedelia, talking about the difference between a green thumb and a green thumb that means somebody is working in the garden. And then you would give the children some reinforcement when you see them using their gardening skills. You might say, hey, look, I see you have a green thumb. We need to use this intentionality when introducing mini lessons to our students in Classworks. As we saw in the Classworks training, you can click on Individualized Learning and scroll through your students. The names are hidden in this example. When I get down to the second page, I notice that in English Language Arts, one of the students has scored 27%. I can click on that student's name and drill down a little. They have 8 total alignment items for that section, and I notice when I scroll down to the second page of those topics, there's a 27% score under NWEA Literary Text, Language, Craft, and Structure. I can click on that link and get even more detail. Now I can see that the topic idioms is the specific unit where there was some difficulty. When I click the plus to the left of the word idiom, I can find out even more information. The student took almost 4 minutes to go through the idiom mini lesson, but then followed that with a 60% score in introducing idioms, a 20% score in recognizing an idiom, and a 0 in using idioms. This is an example where a student really could benefit from using a notebook to take some notes and slow down their process. You should have already modeled the best practice for viewing a mini lesson with your students. This includes using a notebook to write down notes, just as if the student was taking a lesson with you as a group in the class. And this would be a good time to review that concept one-on-one with this one child. Your student should have a binder for classwork, and you may have the Success Notebook front page on that binder. Take a look with your student. What skill do they believe they're working on? And are their Classworks goals too hard or just right for them? Are they rushing because they're using Classworks like a video game, just trying to get through the levels quickly? On the bottom of the page, you might want to suggest that they keep notes from their mini lesson, and also to write notes in the notebook about when they feel they need help from a teacher about a term or an idea. Learning from a computer is very much different from watching a YouTube video for fun. You'll want to have a notebook. Model for your students how to watch a piece of the mini lesson and then take notes. Follow that up by having the students watch the mini lesson and suggest the notes they would take.
An idiom is a phrase that has a meaning different from what the individual words usually mean.
If the next words aren't spoken, just click on them to hear them.
To understand how an idiom might be used, think about someone asking you to cut it out. That person doesn't actually want you to physically cut something out. He or she simply wants you to stop doing something. Idioms can add color and excitement to written text when used sparingly.
This would be a time to pause and ask the students what notes might make sense. As a group, you may decide to put a few bullet points about a definition of an idiom and some examples. You'll be ready to click on the words at the top of the screen and then begin taking some more notes.
Click each idiom to find out its meaning. To wear a nice-looking outfit.
You might want to point out that when you click the answers, it speaks the answer. You need to click on the little speaker to the left of the answer to hear those words written in black.
To risk trouble or danger. To lend a hand. To help someone.
Help the students understand that they don't have to write down every example, but they should write down at least one example that they need to clarify or that they may understand already. What you're helping the students to do is understand that they're supporting their learning by pausing to take notes, and then they can move on to the next page.
Many idioms include slang or words and phrases used in everyday speech that are rarely used in formal language. Click to see 2 idioms that use slang.
Make sure your students understand that the Show Me button sometimes has to be clicked again to see even more examples.
They were going to hang out at the mall. To hang out means to spend time somewhere.
Continue the process of going through each page in the mini lesson, stopping to ask the students what kind of notes they would take, and add your own suggestions as to what they may choose to do when they're working in a unit on their own.